If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Rich Lowry is the editor
Naomi, don't listen to the download of this show.
of the National Review. Rich, welcome back. How are you, buddy?
Good. My dad used to drink Folgers. Remember that? Come in a big metal can at the grocery store.
Rich, I'm Jewish from Brooklyn. I've never heard of such a thing in my life.
Really? You never heard of Folgers?
Oh, Folgers.
Folgers, yeah.
Oh, of course, the coffee. In fact, of course I've heard of it. They drank that too. And you may remember this. The lady who played the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz, she did Folgers commercials for years. Did you know that?
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So did when you were a kid, did you drink Yoo-hoo?
Oh, I love my son Gabriel and me both. Now, I would rather, between you and I, take a glass of milk and throw that You Bet syrup in there. I love that. But my son loves Yoo-hoo, and I drank it too. Yes, it's very good. Yeah.
Very, very New York.
Very New York, yeah. But you're not a New Yorker anymore, so. Or are you?
Well, I'm originally from Virginia, so there are aspects of New York culture that I picked up late in life.
Yeah, but you lived here. I mean, you were in Midtown Manhattan. You were in Midtown Manhattan. You took me to Kalari many years ago, that great Greek place. I still love that place. I think it's better than Opera. I really do. And then you got out of here. Don't you miss, like, what we had the last week, terrorist attacks and...
It was just how perfect can you get than a lefty on a bullhorn saying, we welcome everyone here, and then a terrorist throwing a bomb over his head that would have killed him before anyone else. And the guy's been inveighing against Jake Lang instead of the terrorist on social media the last couple of days.
Forget about Jake Lang. Oh, hold on. Forget about Jake Lang. You know who really took a bigger beating than Jake Lang? Me. They included me in the New York Times, TMZ.
I missed that.
The Today Show, Monday morning. They said that I was the one who inspired Lang because of my rhetoric and my tweet towards the mayor last Wednesday, which I got hammered for. So Lang was there. At least he was there. You want to blame him? I mean, you should wait to find out the truth, and the mayor never really apologized for that. But somehow, every one of these publications and the Today Show placed me at the scene of the crime.
I didn't realize that. The coverage has been so disgraceful. The CNN report, two bright, promising young men take a stroll through New York City and end up arrested for throwing a bomb. How did that happen?
It is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
But listen, this mayor, it is what it is. You know, I got a few people in my life that would like to see me try to make it work. He was duly elected. And I'm telling him now it's never going to happen. I mean, I shouldn't say that. If it turns out that he has 3 good years and protects Jewish people and doesn't raise taxes and takes care of Jessica Tisch and the police, okay. But what has this mayor done in the first 2 months? I'm not just going to be nice to the guy because he won, because a bunch of moronic New Yorkers, downright idiots, want free stuff and hating on Jews. That ain't going to happen with me. So I've kind of become here, Rich, the face, if you will.
The focus of the resistance?
Yeah, I am the focus. And I got to tell you, I'm loving every second of it. Every tweet I get from Chuck Schumer or Kathy Hochul or Bill de Blasio, all it does is make me a little more erect, to be honest.
Do you walk around in a state of semi-erection, then you get more erect?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm walking around with a perpetual heart on. But I'm serious. I mean, this guy is off to such a dreadful start. Can you argue that?
No. As I've said before, you're totally right. People shouldn't be bending to him just because he won or because he's charming. I include President Trump in that list, and you will be proven right. And there's no indication so far that he's anything than what you think he is, and all of us know that he is. Now, look, the keeping Tisch is huge, so maybe public safety will stay under control, but not because of this guy and what he would want to do if he got his own way.
Agreed. Oh, I stand corrected. MJ Ledwith, Lewis's amazing significant other, she corrected me, and she happens to be right. The Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz was not Folgers. She was Maxwell House, which I'm sure your family drank to.
House.
Yes.
How could we forget?
Oh, yes. The great Maxwell House. Let me get to the president and Iran. It looks like he wants to try to stop this because, look, the oil prices go up. They come right back down. John Catsimatidis, I got to give him credit. He predicted this, and so did Trump. So it's not killing them right now, that aspect of this war. But we have to see what happens with the Strait. So that's what it's come down to at this point. I had this discussion with somebody earlier. This war has really come down to whether or not the Iranians will allow the Strait of Hormuz to operate as it does routinely. If they don't, and they're trying to plant mines or stop traffic, stop the flow of oil, then we're going to keep hammering them. It's really that simple, right, Rich?
That's the way it looks. I think the president has weeks to keep doing this, not months. And the disruption we've seen so far, it'll be a blip, if this war ended tomorrow. But it does. That's the major point of contention. If they can keep the Strait closed, and Trump has to back down because there's too much economic pain, that's not a great outcome. If we can open it, despite them wanting to close it, that shows they don't have that ability going forward. That they don't have that threat to hang over our heads, and that's a much better situation. But it just seems as though it's very sensitive to any potential threat, whether you're actually hitting ships or whether you're actually laying mines or not. It's just the potential that you could do it means the insurance goes way up and no one wants to send their ships through, or very few people do. So it is a problem.
Yeah, Trump is working on that insurance. This is Rich Lowry. He's a major superstar, editor of National Review. His stuff is open syndicated right here in the New York Post. He's actually going to be on my show and then kill me, I heard, coming up right after me today. And he's on Fox News all the time, and he's a terrific, terrific guy. So what do you think about this for Trump? He comes out of the State of the Union. I thought it was his best speech ever. I really did. Just an incredible job of weaving and mixing in what he's done well and what the Democrats are doing badly and taking shots at them, calling them crazy. And then not long after that great speech, boom, we hit Iran. I don't think the majority of Americans have the stomach for it, even guys like me who love everything the president does. And I want to see Iran obviously destroyed because of my love for Israel. So I'm with the president here. But the truth is, most Americans don't seem to be. So where do you think the president is right now in terms of popularity with this war raging? Is it going to be maybe not raging, maybe it's coming down now, but is it going to be an issue come November, or do you think he's just fine?
I think the war is all downside. I think if it's a big success, if the government is toppled tomorrow, I think it's still not going to be hugely popular. People will say they like it, but it's not going to be a voting issue in November, where potentially it plays as a voting issue in November if people think it's increased prices. It'll be a benefit to Democrats. But I think one problem here, Sid, and there's a tactical reason they did it, because they thought they had the target opportunity. They did have the target opportunity and then eliminated the bastard, the Ayatollah. But this was, mentioned in passing in one line, at minute 95 of the State of the Union, where it would have been much better to prepare people in advance with a big public case. I don't think he legally needed to go to Congress, but, go to Congress months ago and have an authorization in your back pocket and have made the public case and have people say, wait a minute, what are you going to do about the Strait of Hormuz? And then think about that a little bit more in advance. So I think he's been hurt by the seat of the pants nature of this. But look, at the end of the day, if you flatten pretty much everything and set them back years and years and years, and the regime is still in place, I think that's a win. Now, obviously, the maximal scenarios, there's a popular uprising 6 months from now or something and topples the regime. That would be a huge victory. But it's hard to achieve that in a predictable way when you're just operating from the air. I'm
a pretty confident guy. I walk around. I'm not nervous. Really never. I've received death threats and all that. I don't care. I worry about my family, obviously, because I love them. But I'm not worried about everyday life in New York City, but they keep bringing up this sleeper cell stuff, which I thought I was going to see in big numbers almost 3 years ago when 6 days after October the 7th, you may remember, they called for an all-out jihad global day. I called Eddie Caban at the time, the police commissioner, and asked for help because I was actually nervous. So We've heard about these sleeper cells and Hezbollah here. Pete King's going to join me. He's great with this stuff. But the truth is, there's been so many calls for this to happen over the years, and maybe we don't know everything the FBI does. Maybe they actually have thwarted a bunch of opportunities to cause some damage here in New York. But outside of these two knuckleheads from Pennsylvania throwing bombs all over Gracie Mansion, we haven't seen it. So it's really simple, Rich. If you still lived in New York, Would you be nervous?
No, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be walking around every day nervous. I wouldn't be as confident as you walking around with a semi-hard-on all the time. But
See, now you're not going to get that later from Rich Lowry and Brian Comede. I can promise you that, okay?
How do you know? Are you so sure?
Oh, maybe. Well, I'll be listening. We'll find out.
Yeah, but I think it's something that we should be concerned about, and I hope they're working every single day. I think it's probably more of a threat in Europe than it is here, but it's something that should be in the back of your mind.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.